Hi, I'm Life Coach Landry, and the topic is questions to ask during your job interview so that you crush it. Okay, so I'm going to give you some questions that typically people look up. What kind of questions should I ask back? And we're not talking about things how you're going to answer. We're going to talk about things you're going to ask them so that you look involved and engaged. I already did a segment on the before, during, and after interview, but I wanted to specifically give you the questions to ask because this is one of the most sought after questions I get from clients that are working on their career is, hey, when I'm interviewing, I'm not really sure on what kind of questions I should ask. I mean, I know the basic three, when are you looking to hire, when should I follow up, things like that. But typically people don't know how to really knock their socks off with some good solid questions. So I'm going to give you 12 questions I think just really take it home. Okay. Number one, I want you to say, what do you like most about working here, or what today in the life of this role like? That makes them answer exactly what they're asking you. It makes them say, well, I'm asking all these questions about the role, and it makes them have to specify the questions versus what the day is like. And it gives you insight whether the questions they're asking are bullshit, or if it's accurate, or if it just gives you more info than the questions they've been asking you, and you're just better off suited, right? But it's a great kickoff, asking what a day like is in the role, right? Because it kind of gets them to give you a real sense of what to expect the day, the first week on the job, right? Number two, I want you to say, what are the most important things or key goals that this role should focus on in the first 30 days to 1 year of employment? What I like about this question is it's shifting focus from the immediate, which tells you priorities, and it switches to the long-term goal they're looking for this position to fulfill, right? And that kind of gives you a chance. It's like working with clay. You get to really see what's going to be molded in the end versus what you're just trying to work with right now. So it's a great question, okay? And the next, number three, I want you to say, what are the 1 year or 5 year goals, in this kind of role, and how do you see someone in this role supporting those goals? What this is going to tell you is what kind of resources you're going to be given to accomplish what they actually want you to do. Okay, some companies are good about saying what they want, but they're not good at supporting it, right? So this one's helpful if you're curious about the bigger picture in general and how you'd kind of fit in, knowing the crucial coordination of the flagship and which way it's steered. Okay. Number three, I want you to ask, what are the qualities of the person who excels in this role? Or you can ask it a different way. You can say, what are the qualities of a person you're looking to hire that will be successful in this role? Okay. A pro tip, don't do this if they've already talked about the demands and requirements and traits they're looking for. Okay. You don't want to be redundant and look stupid and you're just rehearsing questions. But this is a good one if you haven't really heard a lot about what they really want for the role out of the person, from maybe a personality / trait role. Okay. So this will give you a chance to kind of ask that. The next thing I think you should ask is, what are the success metrics for this job? In other words, you're going to find out how are they measuring you to know if you're fulfilling what they're asking of you. So you'll know if they're being realistic, okay? Take notes now in case this comes up again in your annual review or whatnot. This is where if you have a pen and paper, you want to be writing stuff down. Okay. And it makes them look like you're taking this shit seriously. You're not fucking around. That, what they're saying to you right now, if held true and you do get the job, you're going to hold on to what you're told in the interview because you have this list of questions you were asked. Okay. The next question I want you to ask is, what are some of the challenges that this role faces? In other words, was there someone in it before and they were let go for certain reasons? Or is this a new job because they want to tackle new goals? Either way, you're going to find out the pitfalls, right? Or the challenges, so to speak. Speaking of challenges, you might want to hear, the downside, which is why it's good. You might be helpful knowing ahead of time that you're grappling a resource tightened department, or there's been a troublemaker employee in this department that's going to need some either salvaging or, working through. Okay. The next question you can ask is, can you give me an example of a stretch project within the organization? This is actually a chance for you to showcase your independent thinking and also show that you think about the whole big picture of company-wide objectives and not just what you need to do for your department, which shows that not only are you focused, but you're also cared about the company's strength as a whole, okay? The next question I want you to ask is, what's the career path within the company? Where's the dotted line? Where are you going from here? This question shows that you're thinking long-term again, and it helps you manage expectations for advancement when it comes to review time, right? It's just a way for you to say, I care about my path here. I didn't come here to do the same thing every day for 5 years. Like, I want to know once I accomplish some milestones and goals, I'm someone that you're looking to move up from there, kind of, so to speak. Next, what's a really important question is, what's the organization's or your department's, if you're talking to your hiring manager, a management style? This is really important question, right? Especially if you're interviewing with, a less senior member too, because the team that you might report to or you might work with, or, might give you a lot of, they might give you a lot of, intake in the kind of boss they either like to work for, if they're going to be your reports, or it might give you, you might hear some unhappiness, amongst the group. It'll kind of give you some insight without actually having to be at the job already. Okay. Another question you might want to ask is, and this is my personal favorite one, is what's the team and company culture like? This is showing that you're not just looking for a skill set fit. You're looking to fit in personality wise. Okay. I just really like this one because depending on the rapport that you've established, and how senior the person interviewing with you is, this is a good chance for just kind of coworker intel, kind of like the last question, but this one actually is more towards personality, just in general with the company, and not maybe just who you might report to. Okay. And this is important because if you're looking for something long-term, you want to go somewhere you're going to fit. Okay. Now, I always throw this bonus question in here myself. When I've interviewed, but I've been a director and a senior manager and jobs like that. So I've been a little bit higher up, but this question takes a lot of moxie. Okay. What I like to ask is, do you have any reservations about my fit for this role? It's kind of brassy. But what if they tell you, on the other bolder hand, you might catch them off guard enough to actually, give you some examples. Plus it gives you a chance to respond to them right there on the spot. If they have anything that they're kind of hesitant about, they haven't mentioned, it gives you time to kind of tackle it. Okay. But my final tip is, write these questions on a legal pad, a notebook, type them, that you take into the interview with you. Right. And then take notes under each one about your answers. Remember, just because you have them written down doesn't mean they can read everything sitting across from them. You're going to have so much scribbling going on. They don't know what you're revolving around, but you do. You know what your plan is with your questions, right? So take notes. It doesn't seem weird that you're glancing at it. In fact, you'll probably impress them in the interview with your diligence, okay? And it'll clearly show some highly evolved attention to detail. And this is what you want to get across, right? You want them to get a sense of, they just kind of feel that you are really in tuned in what you're looking for. And you're not doing what I talked about in my last segment. You're not a car salesman. This is a two-way conversation. You should be just as confident in your questions towards them as the ones they want to give you. And plus, it'll eat up half the interview time so that you're both talking, which is what you want. You want a two-way conversation, okay? Now, if you want to, you want to perfect this interview thing, and you're a little bit nervous, you can reach out to me. We can do a personal session. We can knock this kind of stuff out, or you can just look for, later videos and segments that I might post on this stuff. I might do some follow-ups to it. This was a subscriber request. I got this question multiple times, and I've heard this from a lot of my clients. So I decided it was probably good to knock out some interview things for people, because it seems like the biggest thing with people is anxiety going into an interview. And what you got to remember, it's a two-way conversation. It's like a first date. They don't know you. You don't know them. They can't really catch you off guard because they don't know you, right? So they're asking you questions, and if you jumble something or you get a little nervous, just rebound and keep going on. I mean, don't worry about it. They're not going to judge you for being human at the end of the day. If you're a good candidate, you're a good candidate. Okay. Feel confident in yourself. Don't worry about it. Wake up in the morning, listen to a little music on the way there, drink some coffee, make yourself alert. All those kind of things. But trust me, if you're watching this video and you watched my last segment, you're ready. All you need to do is relax. Take it easy. Walk in there. I promise you, interviews go by much faster than you realize, okay? They'll fly by. By the time you're done, you're looking over and you're going, man, I wrapped this up quick. I don't know what I was so nervous about. That's usually what you're going to feel like, right? So take that into account. But if you want to book a personal session with me, you can contact me on the link below. Or if you just found this video of value and you want to show your appreciation, you can click on the donation link below, and I will talk to you soon.